buddy.
We've got two special guests on today. One of the most decorated, probably the most decorated arm wrestling champion that's ever existed, all the way from Sweden. We've got Sarah Backman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And we've got Ashleigh Hoeta Williamson, who is currently the world's strongest female bench presser and also won the East versus West qualifier in the arm wrestling, is a New Zealand arm wrestling champion, and her and Sarah are meeting for the first time. And not only that, but they actually have a match against each other at AWE on October the 20th here in Adelaide, which we can't wait to see. But welcome to the show, Ashleigh.
Thank you, guys.
Well, I got to correct one thing, Matt. You messed up one thing on that brilliant introduction. We claim Sarah. That is the North American queen of arm wrestling. You can't give her away to Sweden, man. We got her over here.
That's fine, absolutely. Well, hey, why wouldn't you want the best arm wrestler that's ever existed from it's an absolutely amazing record. I was looking up before, I was reading the Wikipedia page, and I was like, 8-time world champion, 12-time this time champion, 15-time this champion. I was like, oh my God, she's done everything. It's absolutely insane.
Aww.
But I am very excited to hear that you guys, Matt, and the AWE crew has just put together this super match, man. Once I heard about Ashleigh and the bench pressing that she's doing, and now she just won the qualifier I heard over in Turkey, this is going to be some fireworks. I am excited. When he told me this, I was like, hell yeah. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Look who's here, Ryan Grondin. What is up, brother? How you doing, my man?
What's up, guys?
We got the king of the 98 in the house.
Absolutely. Ryan Grondin, great to have you on the show. And the 98% is obviously his baby, and we're big supporters of the 98%. And I'm well in that 98%. There's no way that I'm heading up towards the top end of that 2% of the elite arm wrestlers. But did somebody told me that you've been sticking to your 98% rule so much that you had one of the top guys join your group, join your Facebook group, and you've actually removed them because they're like, no, you're.
Michael Todd is always trying to join, and I just keep booting him.
That's
nope.
He's in that 1%, isn't he? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, this isn't for you, Michael. This isn't your club.
we booted Paul in too recently because he's getting up there, and we're like, it's too close. He's getting too good to be with us.
You can't boot Paul in. He's so nice.
I know. He knew it was coming, though,
So yeah, should we kick things off with Ashleigh and Sarah's match, Paul?
Yes, definitely. What I wanted to do is, I know Sarah's been on my channel a bunch of times, and we went over Sarah's introduction into arm wrestling. But I know we're on Match Channel now, and just in case somebody's been living under a rock, I wanted to first start off with Sarah and just kind of give us the background, how many years you've been pulling, kind of how you found arm wrestling, just kind of give everybody the 411 and catch them up.
Yeah, sure. So I started arm wrestling November 19, 2006. That's when I discovered it in school in Sweden. And my life changed overnight. Like, I became obsessed, and I knew, I felt it deep in my soul that this was my calling, my purpose in life. And I quit school. I pursued arm wrestling since the age of 14, pretty much. And one thing led to another. I traveled around, won tournaments, and after 7 years, I got an opportunity to join WWE, the American Wrestling Company. So I got a work visa to move to Florida. Did not really connect with the wrestling very well. Is my sound okay?
I'm hearing feedback from somebody, but we're hearing you fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Sorry to interrupt, bro.
Should I continue?
Yeah, go. Keep going.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I started the wrestling, but in order to pursue that, they said you have to quit the arm wrestling. So at the time in my life, I was like, I have won everything I could possibly win. Okay, so I kind of let arm wrestling go. But then the wrestling didn't work out, but I stayed in the United States, was gone for a couple of years, and then I did a comeback in 2019. And since 2019, I'm full force back, as obsessed as I used to be. And here we are.
Hell yeah. Hey, Matt, you want to just try muting everybody and let's try figuring out where that feedback is? Because that's going to get a little annoying. I don't know. It could be mine too, because my Wi-Fi is a little off.
Yeah, no worries. I'll figure it out as we go, mate.
And Ashleigh, so I want to find out about you. When did you get into arm wrestling? How did you find it? And just kind of give us a little update of everything.
So I was doing powerlifting before it, and then one of my best mates, Mate Warangi, I saw him doing it, and my toxic trait is if I see someone doing something, I automatically think I can do it. And then I wasn't really training it. Like I was so set on breaking a world record for bench. So I've been on and off. Like I'd go once every 3 months to train. So consistently, I've been doing it for 6 months.
That's it? Only 6 months?
Yeah, if it's like consistently on and off, it's been like 2 years. But yeah, training it weekly, 6 months.
Wow. And so let me get this straight. You just went in an East versus West qualifier. That was in Turkey?
Yes, yeah.
And you won that only 6 months really in? That is crazy. Wow, you don't play around.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you this, Ashleigh. Do you think that you got so good at arm wrestling through your powerlifting background? Has that translated to the table for you?
No, so I actually am an ex-international gymnast. So I was a gymnast from when I was 4 up to the age of 15. And then I kind of stopped doing sports altogether. But I definitely think that the muscle memory from gymnastics has just helped with kind of anything else that I've tried.
That's 100%. I know a bunch of people that are very good arm wrestlers that started off when they were younger as gymnasts. And being that young, being a gymnast, your tendons and everything developed extra quick.
Yeah.
So I could see that translates to the table. Wow. So I have to ask you this, Ashleigh. After hearing how long Sarah's been in arm wrestling and knowing she's the queen of North American arm wrestling and all, are you nervous taking this match on this quick in your career?
Oh, 100%. It's gone from like becoming New Zealand champ to then Oceania, and then boom, it's just straight in there. Yeah, I'm nervous, but I think it'll be a nice learning opportunity, and you know, I get to keep traveling little parts of the world, which is it's a win in my eyes already.
Oh yeah, man! Just to get on the table and to get experience with Sarah Backman is just that's next level right there. And being so quick at doing it, that is just amazing. So I want to get in. I've heard these crazy bench pressing numbers and all these crazy numbers from you. So can you break it down for the audience? Like, what is your bench press? What are you bench pressing these days?
So, I haven't actually bench pressed since before April, I think. But the heaviest I'd done before that was, so it was 400 kgs equipped, which is 881 pounds. But that was to a 2-board. Full press was 700 pounds in November last year, which is 317.5 kgs.
Oh my! So practically, you're working out with cars. You're bench pressing cars around. Wow.
Yeah.
Sarah, hearing those numbers, what does that make you? Are you a little nervous now that knowing? First off, Sarah, this I'm assuming is the strongest person that you've gone on the table against. You know, in bench pressing and all.
Yes, a lot of people say that your bench press don't matter, but I believe it do because it's side pressure, right? So if you have that much inside and side pressure, like how can you not respect that before, you know? I recently lost to Jocelyn from Canada, and she's also a master bench presser. I think she did 315 pounds, which is 145 kilo. Extremely impressive for a female. Like my best ever bench press, like the one time in my life I did 235, like, you know, and that, I think that's good, you know, for me. So like hearing these numbers, like I just got to feel this power, especially this early on. I'm sure you're gonna surpass me and many others. Like you probably have the potential to, if you have that desire and, you know, the skill in arm wrestling, and if you build, you can probably be one of the top. But I want to feel you now before you get there. So.
Wow, this is, I just can't believe the numbers that they
know.
still haven't settled in my head. And just like you said, Jocelyn Breeson from Canada, I know when Matt brought up bench press, that was the first person I thought of. And I was like, well, what about Jocelyn? Does she do more than her? And then when I actually heard the numbers of Ashleigh, I was like, oh my God, that is the next level above that. That is very impressive.
It's some serious, it's just very respectable numbers for any person, but especially a female. It's very special and should be taken seriously. So
now, Ashleigh, what is your style? Are you a universal puller? Do you like the top roll? Do you go inside? Do you like the press?
That's a good question.
I think she just gets the hand and puts it on the pin pad.
But yeah, I don't really know. I just
just do
listen to Mate Iwarangi and what he tells me to do, and I just do it.
This is great. It's great.
Now, what would you consider your strongest attribute on the table? Is it your grip? Is it your arm power? Is it your side pressure? What would you consider being your biggest strength?
Again, a good question. To be honest, I should have had my coach here to be like, what is it? I'm so out of like pocket with arm wrestling. When I grip up, because like the matches that I previously had, they always try and like, how do you put it? They try to make themselves feel like a lot stronger. So I'm like, I'm always really nervous when gripping up. But then when they say go, it's actually like they'll try and hit. And I'm so delayed in my head because I'm like, crap, I've said go, that I think it's just, I don't know, going down. We'll just go with that.
Wow.
It's just
the
matches that I've seen, there's a lot of side pressure, and it's a very powerful wrist that you've got. And yeah, it's not that you're sort of getting into a hook and then dragging, or you're really top rolling with a lot of pronation. To me, it looks like a lot of side pressure power.
Yeah. To me too. It looked from East versus West that you were just like moving them.
So Sarah, have you been studying Ashleigh? Is there a lot of content out on the internet that you've been able to get?
But based on my experience with Jocelyn, there's gonna be she's probably amazing in straps, even with no strap experience, because she has that. It doesn't matter if she loses her wrist, really. That's what I'm thinking. Like she can just like, so I need to work around that.
I got to ask you, Sarah. So when you went against Jocelyn, I know it was in a round robin, and you know you guys both had a couple matches before that. But I was been wondering, do you feel it would be a different outcome if that was in the super match format?
Yes. Potential, like possibly, because my endurance is really good, or I think so. Like that's how I train, and for hours and hours, and I usually just get stronger while the others get fatigue. So that could be definitely a strength. And I don't know about Jocelyn, how her endurance is, but I would be curious to see in a super match how that would play out.
What did you learn from that day in that round robin against her? Did you learn like her style? Did you learn, you know, have you been like trying to like combat it now in like in your training? Like,
Yeah, so I tend to lose, especially my right arm. I tend to lose my pronation. Like I do pronation lifts in the gym, and I'm strong. I'm moving weight, but for some reason it doesn't connect on the table as well as I would like. So I'm really like going back to drawing board right now, and I'm doing like exercises and telling people how to act on the table in my favor, and it's like it's almost like nothing there, but it's always like that in the beginning, and it's just gonna like grow from there. But like that's where I'm at now. Like I need to activate my pronator, because once you palm up, it's so hard to fight. And somebody that's strong and taller and big, they're just gonna like move through. You know, I need to protect that a little bit better, I'm thinking. And or that's a lot of feedback that I've gotten from people that watch the match, and that's, I believe it myself. So.
And I remember last time we spoke, you were saying you kind of were doing like a powerlifting training program, and I believe you were working with a powerlifting coach. Are you still going that route?
When did we speak last? Because
It was
that's
a while. It was the
far.
last interview we did. I think it was a few months back. I think it was like probably like 4 or 5 months ago.
Huh. Because my last coach was Chris Drummond, arm wrestler, and it was super arm wrestling specific, no arm powerlifting at all. So I
Oh,
wonder,
okay.
but I know in the past I've been with powerlifting coaches, so maybe it's before that or whatever.
Yeah, maybe when we were at Viticel, that might have been that conversation with the powerlifting. Or I think when we went to that Viticel house, I think you were saying something about that.
Yeah.
I just remember you were trying new training out, you know, and I was asking you about that.
Yeah.
So what,
Yeah,
what is training look like right now for you? Like, are you training every day? Or
yeah. Like that's one thing that's I can like proudly say that like I've been consistent. I don't take many days off in a month, if any. Like I always do something. And between January and May, it was hardcore arm wrestling specific, and then I just, you know, everything is in phases, right? So I got a little bit tired of it and needed a break. So since then, I'm doing kind of a feel-good training. I'm asking myself every day, what do I feel like training today? And depending on how I feel, that's what I do. And it can be, sometimes it's a little bit arm wrestling related, sometimes it's a little bit more bodybuilding, but I don't have that extreme pressure on myself at this time. But I'm gonna have to turn that up a little bit here soon to get ready for Ashleigh. So I'm giving myself maybe another week or so. Gabby's coming here to train with me for a week. So maybe she can tell me some stuff.
now, are you still hitting? 'Cause I remember you used to hit a lot of table time. Are you still doing the 2 days a week with the table time?
Yeah. That's the highlight of my week. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm longing for. That's what I'm planning for. Like how I train and eat leading up to it. Like I don't know. It's just my like therapy time. I don't know. Like it's just what I love. So every Thursday at 6 and 2 times a month on Sundays too. So what's that like?
Very nice.
A month, yeah.
Now, Ashleigh, what's your training looking like? Are you training every day, and how many times a week are you on the table?
So I'm currently only on the table once a week. I'm training 4 nights a week, and that could be like shoulders, lats, but I am trying to bring back in bench to see if it kind of like goes with one another, because usually it's like bench or arm wrestling, not the both of them together. Yeah, I think like 2 months out, we'll probably start doing it twice a week. But for now, just the 4 days a week, training in the gym and once a week on the table.
Now, how are you doing with, because I know when you first begin, you know, the recovery process is a little rough and everything. Are you still getting really sore for a couple of days after table time, or you're over that period?
No, thank goodness I'm over that period, because when I first started, I was like, oh, is this actually something that I want? Like it was a week or two. But now it's just get home, rehabilitate, do, you know, the normal exercises, hot bath, good to go the next day.
Very nice. So Matt, I want to know, man, how did you come up with this match? How did this, because this is a brilliant match. So I wanted to know, what was the thought process behind this?
Well, all credit goes to Ryan Bowen for this one, because he's been speaking with Sarah. I think they've hit it off on a related issue that they were both facing, but and I think Ryan had just mentioned something about coming to Australia, and I believe you might have said, I'd love to come down there one day, or if you've been here before, maybe to come back. And he said, well, October might be a good time. And it was like, do you think we might be able to, we'd be interested if we could find someone. And then he's like, oh, okay, we've got to find somebody for a match. And then he's like, I know exactly the girl who's going to be great for that. And we said, well, who? And he said, there's this girl in New Zealand. She's the world's strongest female bench presser. She's just won the East versus West qualifier, and she's putting up some massive numbers and squashing everyone. And it was like, well, this is the perfect opportunity. So yeah, October 20th, it's going to be here in Adelaide, and we're doing right arm and left arm.
Ooh, nice. Very nice. So which one is the better arm for you, Ashleigh?
Left. Like, left is so natural. Right is, yeah. Right is, it needs some work. But yeah, I love doing my left. Yeah.
Now, Sarah, I know you're a killer on both arms, but what is your more dominant arm?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised to hear that, Ashleigh, because my left arm is my better arm too. The right is just along for the ride. Yeah, like I'm trying to keep up, but I'm just way more connected with left. So this is going to be great.
Cool.
Wow.
And Sarah, what's your are you all healed up 100% from all injuries and everything?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my God.
great to hear.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm back 100%. Like I babied that injury so much. And from surgery, January 23 to January this year, I took such good care of my shoulder, and thank God I'm back 100%. Like I'm probably stronger now than I was, or like, it's hard to say that, but like, that's how I feel. So.
Very nice. So Sarah, I see you have some big things coming up very soon. I see August 3rd, you got the Sarah Backman Classic. I'm very excited about that. And I'm hearing people are coming from all over the country. If you're anywhere on the East Coast, you need to get your ass here. And I also wanted to let you know, I heard everybody come in. I know this is your first big event that you're throwing. I said, you know what? I had a bunch of important things going on, but I called everybody up today and I said, yo, listen, I got some major stuff I got to attend. I got to come a week later. So I will be there in person. I can't wait. It's going to be a great time. So everybody, I really hope everybody shows up. All Florida better be there. Everybody on the East Coast. I know Ryan Grondin and the 98 are also coming. I think even the Knuckles Up crew might be coming. I think everybody's rolling up in this. So
Michael Todd.
Gabby's coming, Magda is coming, like Heidi Cordner is coming. Like I feel the love, and I'm so happy. Like, thank you guys.
Hell yeah. I can't wait for this. So Sarah, tell us about this August 3rd. How did this come about? And what's the plans after that? Is this going to be something you're going to do every year?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought that I would be a promoter, and I'm still not a promoter. They just like literally offered me to put my name with this deal, and like it's Sean Hancock, that is a very known promoter from Mississippi. He's been around for over 10 years, and he has approached me for a long time about this, honestly, for 2 or 3 years. And every year I was like, nah, didn't really feel like I deserved it, or like I'm not big enough or whatever. But this year he was not letting it go. He was like, listen, Harley really want to do this. And I was like, okay, like that's great, and here we are. And I can't
believe I just heard you say that you didn't think you were big enough to throw your own class.
No, but like,
what do I always tell you? I tell you, you are the female Devon Larratt. You have the power to take over the whole world of female arm wrestling and get everybody behind you. All you got to do is get out there more. But I'm glad to say in the last couple months, I see you're getting out there now. I see you got a bunch of things coming up. I see something up in Canada. You're doing like a meet and greet. What's up with that?
Yeah, so me, Corey Miller, Tim Talmadge, and Magda, we're hosting, we want to grow arm wrestling to the non-arm wrestler, right? Because all arm wrestlers, we already know what it's about. We need outsiders to to discover it. So we're hosting this meet and greet or a come and learn event at a brewery in St. Thomas, Ontario, in Canada next Tuesday. And it's from 6 to 9 p.m. And you can have a beer and grab some food, come practice, learn arm wrestling, like good vibes only. Let's have a great time and just, grow arm wrestling. And we're going to do more events like that. This is just the beginning. So that's a little project we've been working on. Yeah.
I'm so glad you are finally getting out there, because I'm telling you, you are the key for the women. There's nobody else that's a better representative. You've did this for so long. You've got the look, you've got the passion, you got everything going. I'm telling you, keep doing it, because you are going to bring in so many new non-arm wrestlers, and that's great. That's exactly what we need in our sport.
Oh, thank you so much. And it just encouraged me like to feel this love and support to like keep going. Because like you said, it's not like for selfish, like it's for the sport, like why wouldn't we want the sport to like grow and get more of the good, So.
Exactly. Because, some promoters, they get a little, crazy and they want to have the whole show. But there's certain people out there that just want the sport to grow. And you're one of them. And I love that about you. It's not about being greedy. It's not about being the only promotion out there. You're willing to work with everybody. And it's obvious, because all the promotions are coming down to your event to show you love, just like you go to all their events. So that's a great thing in itself.
Yeah.
Before we got to touch on, you got to give us all the details of August 3rd. We need to know, where is it? What time everybody should get there? Is there pre-weigh-ins? Like, let us know all that details for all the listeners out there.
Yes, sure. So there's 3 Harley-Davidson dealerships in Orlando. So this is at one of them. And it's at the oldest one, the Historic Factory on 37th Street. It's literally within 10 minutes from Universal. So it's like central Orlando. And we're having weigh-in or registration from 10 to 11 at the venue the day of August 3rd, Saturday. And then the tournament starts at noon. And we're going to run 3 tables, I think. We're going to get it, over with. We have a huge overall. And we're paying out total $3,000 in cash prizes.
Wow, big money going out there. You guys heard it. So if you're in Florida, make sure to get there. Everybody in Florida's got to show up for this one. There's a lot of pullers in there. I'm expecting it better be a few hundred people there for Sarah, because she's always supporting everybody out here. Show the love in return. And come kick it with us, man. I'm going to be there. Ryan Grondin, the 98's coming. Everybody's coming to hang out. So
I'm bringing a whole
hang out
crew.
and have a good
We got
time.
like 3 of us flying down.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's going to be a party. We have a live DJ. We have food trucks. We have a full bar. Like we have a videographer, photographer. Like there's going to be a lot of social media presence and content, like producing live throughout the day. We don't have a live stream or anything like that, but it's going to be like produced throughout the day and released. So everybody will know what they're missing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also seen something on Mikey's page. Mikey put out there that there was a photo shoot that went down the other day over at your gym with you and I think Mikey. And I think I seen in the comments that there was something with a clothing line might be coming out or something soon. What's that about?
I've been working on something and I'm releasing it that day. And it's just the beginning of more. But I thought that would be a good first item to release.
Do you have anything for fat guys?
Yes, I have up to 5XL.
Yes.
Don't worry, man. You can keep eating your Twinkies, man. She got a shirt big enough for you.
Sweet.
It's basically a bed sheet.
I'll just throw 2 of them together. I don't care.
Paul, I just wanted to ask Ashleigh about, she was going to tell us this story about meeting Devon Larratt, and I was like, wait, save it for the podcast. So Ashleigh, obviously you've gone over to East versus West qualifiers. Devon had reposted your 700-pound bench press video, and you'd made a clip responding to that saying, I want to get a photo with Devon, and then you've got that. You can see that in your Instagram there. But what was it like meeting the man?
So, like, everyone had lined up to kind of talk to him after the comp had finished, and I was like, "How am I going to do this? Like, I don't want to be like, excuse me, do you remember me? So I grabbed the video that I'd made on Instagram and I was like, oh, can I show you a video? He's like, okay. I was like, do you remember that time that you shared about a girl? And he's like, oh my, and he's like, everyone started staring. I was like, oh no. He's like, you're the first girl in the world. I was like, yes, I know, so I am. Yeah, it was an unreal moment, but yeah, got the photo, which was awesome.
That is awesome. I think I've got your bench press video here of you hitting that 700 pound.
Oh, that's it. Oh, yep, that one. Yeah.
There we go.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
That is depressing for us guys.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I can't get a third of that up.
I would be squashed. I'd just be literally squashed.
Right?
But absolutely incredible effort there. But
Wow.
Gone full screen on me. Let's get back to that. There we go. IHCP, yes, I did say 700 pounds, and she's aiming for 800 pounds.
Jeez.
That is crazy.
Which is
What
insane.
actually are you training specifically for arm wrestling? Do you have any arm wrestling exercises you're focusing on, or you're kind of just what you got your powerlifting and bodybuilding training going?
So at the moment, it's just arm wrestling. And we've been working a lot of cupping because with my right arm, it just does not connect. Like my mind and the arm do not connect well together. So we've been doing a lot of cupping and pronating. And then I think moving into this next block, it'll be a lot of, I think my coach said supinating, back pressure, and yeah, there it is.
Nice.
And side pressure.
Yeah, look at your forearms are jacked too. Holy shit.
This is the first
Yeah,
girl
good
I've met
one.
that can bench press me.
Yeah.
Wow. So Ashley, what's the goals in arm wrestling? Like what's your are you are you here for the long run? Are you trying to be #1 in the world? Are you doing this more of just like kind of like a hobby? Like what is your intentions with arm wrestling? How far do you want to take it?
So at the start of this year, it was just I wanted to become Oceania champ. And then when that sort of happened, I was like, oh crap, like I can't actually do like work towards a 400 kg bench while trying to kind of level up in arm wrestling. So I think I'll kind of do it for the rest of this year and then get sort of a feel to where I want to go like a few years down the road. But I mean, it would be nice to like, you know, face other top women. I mean, I feel like I'm thrown completely in the deep end with Sarah, but at the same time I'm like, oh, like cool. But yeah, like,
You need it. Like you need it. You can't be with others. Like
yeah.
I came calling 2 weeks ago, and she was the first one that told me about you, and it didn't click until afterwards that, oh my God, that was the girl I saw on the videos. But she said that you were super strong, and it's just the beginning for you. Like imagine after 6 more months, like things are just gonna get better and better and better.
Yeah.
So you have a very strong starting point. It's up to you now to just keep it up,
Yes, yeah.
What advice do you have for her, Sarah? Is there anything that you can kind of direct her or lead her in, with all the experience you have?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely stay humble, like like as a person, and like don't get cocky or anything like that, because then you're not gonna get invited anywhere. But like I don't think that's the problem. But like you have to be a good person, and which you are. But so that's #1. But #2 is keep training. Like listen to your coach. Don't stay in your comfort zone. So like you're already on track there too. Like you're just pushing. The second we get comfortable, that's the day we get stagnant and loose. Been there. So you just gotta keep that fire alive, because the motivation is gonna come and go, but it's the discipline in the meantime there that's gonna pay off ultimately. But you're a champion in other stuff, so just apply that same mindset for the arm wrestling, and you will be playing with Gabby. Like I mean, it's so hard to say, but like I think you have potential to be in the top. So.
And the opposite of the 98%.
Yeah,
The opposite of me.
Actually, not only are you doing all these amazing things, but you've also been nominated as the New Zealand Woman of the Year.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
On top of everything else, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, tell us anything you tell us about that one.
So I'm pretty sure it was one of my friends or my sister. I don't actually know who nominated me. And I actually found out when I got to Turkey that I'd even been nominated, and now I'm a finalist, which is crazy. And it's just based on like my journey throughout sports, because it has. I guess everyone has a story with how they got to where they are, but mine was just like just constantly like I had a stroke in 2020. My dad was diagnosed with terminal illness, passed away in October last year. So it hasn't been the easiest ride to get here, but yeah, we just keep on moving.
And just back to the tips, I just wanted to throw in one tip for you as a pretty new arm wrestler. I tell all the new arm wrestlers this. Arm wrestling is not a sprint. It is a marathon. So take your time. Don't push too fast, because if you try going too fast, you're prone to get injured in this sport. And that's something I wish somebody would have told me at the beginning. They actually were. I just was so hard-headed and wouldn't listen to it. So you might not know my story, but my first year in, I popped 2 of my bicep tendons in both arms. So, I was one of those dudes that was just obsessed. I was training 2-3 times a day, doing all bodybuilding, arm wrestling. I just never stopped. And like I had really good friends, very experienced, Sarah being one of them, Travis, Toddzilla, and they would all tell me, yo, slow down, bro. Like you're going to, and I'd look at them and I said, yo, bro, I'm different than you guys. You don't understand. I did this bodybuilding my whole life. I lived this. You don't. And they're like, okay. And then next thing, I pop my arm. And any injury in this sport, you get a lot of serious injuries, and I look at it like any injury is going to put you back 6 months to a year. So all that hard work you put in that time, you're just starting back over again, and you got to build up again. So rather than do that, take your time, listen to your body. If it's hurting, it's feeling sore, don't push yourself in this sport, because, things pop when you do. The thing that you do have going for you that most people don't is your tendons are probably very, very developed already. From being a gymnast when you were younger, from doing the powerlifting, you always develop those, you know what I mean? And so that is going to play a benefit to you, but still, just take your time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So guys, Matt, I'm going to let you take over for a couple minutes. I just got to handle something real quick, and I will be right back.
Absolutely. No worries at all. And there's a good comment here from Jack Hoban, hunting Barbora, which is obviously the probably the number one in the world. Well, he's the number one in the world at the moment, but it's never a good idea to look past your current opponent. And Sarah Backman is, as we said, most decorated female arm wrestling champion that has ever existed. So I know you're very excited about even just meeting her, and let alone getting on the table and having a match and seeing how it goes. So, when people are talking about putting you up against the number one in the world this early, 6 months in, it does it seem a bit crazy?
Yeah, 100%. Like even after East vs West 13 had finished, we were all outside, and people were going, "Oh, who's your next opponent?" to Barbora. Lovely, by the way, absolutely lovely. It was crazy to meet her, but someone yelled out my name, and I was like, "Heck no!" Like, I want to do little steps, not just a.
Yeah, it's insane to go from like, let me give this a go to, okay, now you're facing the best in the world.
Yeah. Give me years to train, please.
No, you don't get years.
Look,
We go straight in the deep end.
Paul left real quick to go flex in the mirror, and then he'll be back.
He was talking. He heard the word bicep, and when he hears that word,
he's like, "I got to go look at my
bicep." Twitching. He's like, "Man, it's talking about me. I got to get it out."
Oh, here it comes.
Oh, it's back. All right.
Don't tell him.
Very good. But yes, very excited for that event. And yeah, it's coming up. So October 20th, but we've got the Sarah Backman Classic, obviously, before that as well. So it's early August for that one. For the Sarah Backman Classic.
Oh, were you talking to me?
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
August the 5th, was it?
August 3rd.
3rd. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
No worries. That's fantastic. Yeah, and you've got a whole bunch of people from all around the country in the United States there that sound like they're going along to support you, which is incredible. And that's one of those things with this community of arm wrestling that everyone does seem to reach out and try to help each other as much as possible. And you do see that not only on the table when, you know, everyone wants to tell you how to arm wrestle.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Everybody want to be part of everybody's success. He learned that from me. You know?
Yeah, see how he went like that and got them to the pad? Yeah, that was me. Yeah. Sarah, what about your highlights in your career to this point? Is there a moment that sticks out that you could say this was the pinnacle of my career so far?
There are so many. When I won Slotty Tour, the big pro tournament that was in the past, that was like at the time the biggest thing. And I remember being a fangirl of everybody that was there. Like I was 16, 17 when I went the first time, and I was like, I want to be like that. And then when I was 18, like I won against all odds against the recurring champion, and it was like I lived on that. I mean, I don't feel that amazing anymore, but like 7, 8 years, like I would think about it and just be like I would just like be so proud of that. Like it was amazing.
What was it like for the final table when you got through the tournament? You've got to the grand final. Were you just thinking, like, I've just got to win this and then I can relax, or what was your mindset like?
But it was like I remember believing in myself so much, and that's the key, right? Like you. And not that the team that I was with, like nobody told me that you're not going to win or anything, but it was just not spoken that I could win this. But like internally, I felt that I have what it takes. Like I know I can do this. So when I stopped the match against this girl that has won easy every year, I stopped it and like fought, and I was so close to the pad, but I just held it, and then I turned it around, and like it was, and like just to the love I felt afterwards was like it was incredible, and that's like the biggest win of my life. But then I've had fun wins too. Like a couple of years ago, I won the pro men category in the 165. That like. How the fuck does that happen? it was a round robin too, 15 guys in my class, and I just beat them. Like I had such a good day. Like I peaked so hard. It was during COVID too. I trained 3 times a day in my garage. Like I didn't have a gym to go to. I was obsessed. It was in the middle of my comeback. Like I you know, like I don't know if you've experienced it, but like when you have that like tunnel vision, nothing else matters. Like anything is possible. It's so hard to reach that level, but I've lived it like a couple times in my life. I know it's possible. Anybody can probably, you know, channel in like that, and you can accomplish anything if you just believe in yourself.
Oh, absolutely. That the moment you were talking about then, when you got the stop and when you started to feel that you could turn it around and you were driving back through. Like,
you get extra power when you're so tired and fatigued already. Like you just get power somehow to finish it.
Amazing.
I gotta say this: the first day that I met Sarah in person, we were in Texas. Me and Travis were throwing an event over there, and Sarah and Mikey came there. And it was the first day I met her, and I was in a brace that day. That was at the beginning when I busted my right arm up. And I kept saying to myself, before that day, when I see Sarah Backman, I want to get on the table and I want to beat her because I see her beating all these dudes. Well, I'm watching the event. I watched the 176 class. I see all the top 3 guys, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh man, these guys look real good. I don't think I have anything for them. So I'm like second guessing myself. Next thing I see Sarah go over to them, and she takes the whole line of the top 3, and she goes, "Hey, come over to the side table. Let's pull." She lined up everybody and went right through them. I looked at Travis and I was like, "Bro, I ain't getting on the table with her right now. Hell no." That was the day I realized how good Sarah was, and I was in awe. From that day on, I was just like, "Oh my god, I got to find out what she does," because she just lined up these 3 dudes that I didn't think I'd have any business being on the table with, and she didn't make the like. It looked like they weren't even there. She was just going right through them. So that was my first time to see that. Then I got lucky enough. Me and Sarah, I went up to Sarah's and we went over to their gym and I got a training session in with her. And that's when I realized why she is where she is. She's got the passion. I get obsessed with things, and I've been obsessed with lifting for now about 25 years. And I haven't met too many people that are as crazy as I am and do it as much as I do. When I met Sarah, it was like looking in the mirror. I was like, oh my God, this girl loves the gym, could be there all day long and be the happiest person alive. And that's how I am. And I was like, I was so impressed. And then me and her started having a pull-up contest. And we're just piling on weight on us and we're just going back and forth. Like it was nuts. I think we had like 120 pounds on us and we're busting out pull-ups. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, it is hard. This girl is a beast. So that was when I came to the realization, your passion for training, arm wrestling, there's not too many people on this planet that first have the time that they can do that. Second, that would have the want and passion to do that. I mean, it's very impressive. And I was very impressed that day when I got to train with it. And I'm sure Ashleigh is kind of like that same, she's in that probably same category because to be at the level she is, the top bench presser in the world and all, you don't come the best at anything in this world without being extremely passionate and obsessed with it. So that's why, Matt, you picked a perfect match. You got 2 ladies that really are dedicated 100% and they really have that champion in them. So very, very good, man. And I'm just so impressed. And now to see Sarah getting out there, because that was the only thing I kept saying. I'm like, why isn't she getting out there socially with social media? I mean, she should get out there more because I kept saying, I'm like, you could be like Devon. You could have the same following, 1 million people following you. All the non-arm wrestlers, all the ladies would start watching and be so impressed at how you are, and it would be inspiring to them. And that leads me to another question, Sarah. Was there anybody growing up that you kind of looked up to as in the ladies class? I know now it's hard because you are the top of the top, but is there
Mhm.
anybody that like you were kind of inspired to, just
Yeah,
to,
yeah, for sure. So like, Fia Isaac, right?
yes,
Fia. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So yeah, she has a cousin. Her name is Heidi Anderson. And people that has arm wrestled for 20 some years, they know her very well. She's a legend of the sport. But she is the reason I started. Like she released a documentary about herself and her life back in 2004. And I started arm wrestling in 2006. So this movie was 2 years old and it's called The Arm Wrestlers from Solitude, but it's in Swedish translation. And it's crazy, right? Because Sweden is a very long country and she lives very like in the very north part. So like, I don't know, 12, 15-hour drive from Stockholm. And she lives in a little village where there's 18 people living and everybody's related with each other. It's the grandpa, my mom and dad, the cousins, horses, cows, all of that. And they all arm wrestle. They're all world champions. And this movie would showcase Heidi training in the barn, climbing ropes, and shoveling hay, and then she would go to the world championship somewhere, South Africa or whatever it was, and she would win. And I was like, she's little too, like she's 143 pounds at the time or something. And I was just so mind blown. Like as a 14-year-old girl, I saw this and I was like, I also want to be in the best in the world at this sport. I could not fathom anything cooler. I could not, like, it blew my mind. So then when I finally met her, I was the biggest like fangirl. I was shaking, and I competed, and she beat me, first tournament. And then, after a year or so, I was pretty level with her with left arm, and I beat her left arm, and we traveled the world together, as we do. And like, it's so cool that my idol became my friend and we worked together a couple times. We did some like arm wrestling appearances and things like that. And so like that was my role model. And like she's doing so much good too for kids in schools in Sweden. Like she's having arm wrestling tables delivered, and she's going around instructing arm wrestling to kids. And I don't know, it's just put a great like, I don't know, how I feel about the sport and how I want to give back. So
wow, I just learned something new. I didn't know that Fia was related to Heidi. That's new.
oh yeah,
for me
they're
to
very much
learn.
cousin. I actually believe Fia is there right now training with Heidi. I saw a picture today or so from their training together. And Heidi retired many years ago because she's 12-time world champion. But that's not the cool part. The cool part is that she beat all these giants that nobody beat. She beat Egle. She beat Irina Makeva. Like she beat all of these girls that would never have lost. Like, like I never beat these girls. Gabby never beat these girls. Like she did the unthinkable. So she can absolutely just retire, sit back, chill. And her husband is an Olympic champion too. So like it's this badass family, like crazy.
Wow. And Fia is another badass because I know her
God.
training is
unreal.
I've had Fia on a couple of times, and I actually got to meet Fia in Turkey, and all a great person, great character, and when I looked into her training, I mean, just like you described as Heidi, she is another beast with training that is just so crazy. I think they do a lot of training at her house, right, with Fia? Yeah. So you Swedish girls, man, oh my God, you guys are killers on the table. I don't know if it's in the water there or what you guys got going on, but you guys are bred for arm wrestling for sure.
Yeah.
So same question for you, Ashleigh. Is there anybody that you are inspired from in arm wrestling world? Somebody like that you kind of like following their way right now?
Yeah, so when I first started in arm wrestling, there were two. So the first one was Gabby, and it was because I'm pretty sure she was a gymnast as a kid as well. And so I was like, oh my gosh, similar backgrounds. And the other one was actually Sarah, which is crazy because it's, as she was saying before about how she got to meet her idol and then get on the table with her. It's like a full circle moment because it's like, I in a few months I get to do the same thing.
Full circle.
That's pretty wild. That is that must be an amazing feeling to be able to get on the table with somebody that inspired you to get to this place. That is amazing.
100%. It's just it's cool to see strong women doing cool stuff.
Hell yeah! Doesn't Gabby have a background in gymnastics too or something? Sarah, do you know?
Yeah, but she's also doing that as a day job. Like she's a gymnastic coach for kids, or gymnast coach. What do you call it? Coach.
Yeah. So did she was a big gymnast? I'm thinking when she was younger, probably.
Yeah,
right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we definitely got to ask her that. But that I think we're starting to realize that gymnast stuff, really translates to the table big time. Definitely does.
Paul, did you have an idol in the sport?
Oh man. Oh yeah, I've had a couple.
You're welcome.
I mean, I started, Travis, I started hanging out with these guys and all, and, they started hanging out right away. Todd Zilla, they were all at my house, did seminars and all that. I guess, I would say Travis, I didn't even really know. I watched Game of Arms, and then next thing I know, Travis is hitting me up in my messenger, like introducing himself. So I'm like, wait, this is the guy I just seen on Game of Arms. So I really didn't even know that much about arm wrestling other than the game of arms when I first got in. And next thing I know, I'm hanging out with these guys all the time and all. So, it went from being like inspired to being like my homies. So like, to say that I look at them as inspiration now, it's like, it's just my homies, I don't really look at it like that. But, I got to say, like, learning from Travis from day one, was pretty cool. It's like he's always like giving me the tips, and the dude is just technically like he knows everything. He's so smart, table smart and savvy. He taught me the strap game and all, and hanging out with him all the time, bro. It was pretty cool, dude. I'm hanging out with him week or two at a time. We're traveling around everywhere. We threw like 50 events everywhere. So, and then, I got to meet John Brezink. We're going to casinos and with me, John Brezink, Michael Todd, and Travis in Louisiana, and we're hanging out days there. So I mean, yeah, it was pretty cool, man. But I got to say, before I could even really look and be inspired by them, I really didn't know who they were and how great they were. And then when I started hanging out with them, I realized I'm like, oh shit, like you did that, and it's hard to like really put in perspective when you look at somebody as just your boy, but you kind of forget where they are in arm wrestling. I'll tease Travis and be like, oh, bro, come on, man, you suck and everything. But then when I really look at it and I'm like, holy shit, this dude was the best left hand, probably on the planet. You know what I mean? So it was a pretty cool experience, and then having Toddzilla, I flew Toddzilla out and we threw like a big seminar, and, we had like a whole weekend of fun. I got to party with him and everything. That was really cool, man. And like learning firsthand from him and, seeing all his training secrets and all that. That was really, really cool. And I remember that first time when I met John Brezink, and, Travis would always talk about John, and it was just what we threw the match for John to get back in the sport. That was John versus Chan Shaw. So that was like, it was really cool to see this, the show, what was that movie, Pulling John?
Holy John, yeah.
And then like to know that I'm kind of helping bringing him back from retirement and throwing his first event was like really cool to me. Like I was like, yo, this is friggin' cool. And like telling everybody, because as soon as I said I'd be in arm wrestling, they'd be like, oh, did you see Over the Top? I'm like, yeah, I got one better, bro. I was like, my homie right here, I could call him right now, is John Brezink, and that's who Sylvester Stallone played in the movie. And everybody's like, are you serious? And it was pretty cool, man. Like that whole experience of meeting everybody so quick and kind of just getting in the whole thing. And then same thing with Sarah. When I first met Sarah, I told you the story in Texas and all. And then not too long after that, I got to go and train with her in person. And I mean, that was just like so cool and all. So
And that's
all
a
of them, man.
beautiful thing with the arm wrestling. Like you can be new and a fan and connect with the greats. Like
That's it.
it's
That was great.
what's cool.
And then the other thing, Devon, me and Devon, I remember Devon hitting me up, and I'm like, oh my God, Devon's hitting me up. Actually, the first one that hit me up after Travis was Michael Todd. I know me and Michael Todd don't get along too much these days or whatever, but I remember looking down at my phone and seeing my messenger ringing, and I'm like, oh my God, Michael Todd's calling me right now. And I remember answering it and be like, what's up, bro? You're calling right now. He's like, yeah, man, I've been watching you, and I can see you're the gym guy, and I'm about to build this new gym, and I want to get your advice. I've seen some pictures of your gym, and it's crazy. Like, how did you get all that? And what company should I go with? And I'm like, oh my God, Michael Todd is asking me all this stuff. So I was like, it's rating pretty cool, man. So all of them, and then getting to know them, and what I did notice is I started seeing traits that they all had in common. Each one of them had their own way of coming great like they did, but I got to see up close and personal. I got to know their training. I got to see what made them stand out from everybody else. And that was really, really cool, man, because, you didn't have to just listen to everybody. I got to see it firsthand. And like, I could tell you, how Travis did it. He showed me he's months and months of just putting me through everything he went through, and we would making all the videos. If you look at my YouTube channel and all the beginning was just me and Travis making all these videos. I was the one that actually got him into YouTube and all that stuff. So all that shit was just like so cool to me. And then like it just made me jump, like get really well known very quick in the sport, man. Like within 6 months, it's like the whole world practically knew me in the arm wrestling world, and I didn't even really pull. I popped my bicep, so I wasn't even really a good puller at all, man. Like not hardly was on. But what did kind of suck is when I would go to these practices, you know, I'd tell somebody I'm coming in. Next thing I know, there's 200 people at a practice, and they're all there to see me, and everybody just assumed I was just amazing puller, and I'm like, I suck. And I'm like, that was the ego getting beat down those first 2 years. It was just always going there and kind of like feeling like I was a disappointment to everybody. I'd be leaving and like 90% of the friggin' place would beat me, and I'd be lucky to find like that 4 or 5 dudes I could get some wins on and make me feel better about myself. But what it did do is it humbled me right away. And it's like there was no me coming in with an ego thinking I was going to be this, you know, hot shot puller right away. It was like I went through getting beat down every week, traveling in the country, and just like people dominated me on a table that thought I was going to be a lot better than I was. And then I came across Bob Brown and all, and me and Bob Brown just connected. And, you know, he started teaching me, like he was the first person other than Travis to like really break it down. Travis showed me his way of doing things, but Bob just knows everything. Bob's like the like guru in every kind of style, and he just was able to explain it so well. And that's when I started getting a lot better. And then I would go to these practices, and it wasn't always getting beat down. And now it's like I could hold my own. I'm still not there or whatever, but you know, I started clicking, you know, and I don't feel so as a disappointment when I go to these practice for people anymore.
Oh, I know that feeling, mate. Believe me. I went over to India with Ryan. It was more to support Ryan. I was there to like film his match, and they said, "Well, if you're coming over here, you might as well have a match." I was like, "All right, sure, no worries." I said, "Just give me anybody who's not like super explosive because I'm not that fast off the start." And they give me the world champion.
Oh my God.
On right and left for the juniors, which I didn't know at the time, but I found out afterwards. A 15-year-old Abbas Rana, who is an explosive hooker. So yeah, that didn't work out well for me. But yeah, you walk into a room, there's 800 people there. They're all expecting you to be like this elite level dude, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna suck.
So who was your guy, Matt? Was there anybody that inspired you to like really like you want to kind of follow their path in arm wrestling?
Yeah, pulling John and John Brezink was the number one thing for me. And John Brezink, just his whole attitude, his personality, you know, he seems like such a nice, humble guy, and you know, he's done it all. He was undefeated for like something like 30 years or something ridiculous, and you know, he's been at the absolute top of the sport for 30, 40 years, and still going, and still in the top 5 to 10 in his weight category at 59 years old or 60 years old.
60 years old. In 4 decades, he's dominated for 4 decades.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that documentary was the first thing I saw, anything to do with arm wrestling. And obviously Travis stood out in that because of his personality and his charisma, and, you know, he was funny and he was entertaining, and it was like, oh, this is exciting. And then obviously you go from there to YouTube and you go down that rabbit hole of nonstop matches, and then this one, and then this one, and this one, and this one. And so maybe you'd like to see these 500 matches. Yes, I would. And they're all Devon Larratt, but
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, John Brezink would be the guy that I would love to meet the most in the arm wrestling world. I haven't spoken to him before, but yeah, it feels these days, I think he likes to sort of step away. Well, he probably has always been a bit like that. He's not big on going out and, you know, doing interviews and all the rest of it. I think he does them reluctantly most of the time I've seen it. But yeah, he's very much somebody that I've looked up to in the sport. But apart from John, locally, somebody that you won't know, but Tim Graham is the guy who started the club here in Adelaide, and wouldn't have any arm wrestling happening here in this part of the world at all if he didn't get that going. So yeah, and his style on the table was very aggressive, like really one of those guys that really likes to pump himself up, you know, yell and scream before he walks up to the table. Like, he's the nicest guy ever off the table, but then as soon as he walks up, you know, he's like a ball of fury, sort of like Matt Mask kind of thing. And you know, seeing him compete and learning from him really allowed me to learn what I know now. And everyone in my club, we all learned everything from him. So yeah, he's definitely somebody that I look up to.
Ryan, what about you, brother? What was your entrance into arm wrestling? How did it happen? And then who was somebody that inspired you?
So really, I came across some arm wrestling videos on YouTube, and I saw all these people using like bands for workouts. So I made a video of me with like 100 rubber bands attached to me, just covered. And I made a video, and Devon shared it. Levant, like all these people shared it. And I hadn't even been to my first practice yet. And so I go to practice, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're that stupid rubber band guy that calls himself the worst arm wrestler in the world." So, you know, that's basically how that happened. And then actually Sarah knows the guy that runs the first practice I went to, Josh Vinacore, who went to juniors, and you were there. And that's how I found out about Sarah, because he was talking about her, and I didn't know much about arm wrestling. So at the time I was like, "Oh, women arm wrestle too?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I went to juniors," and he mentioned Sarah. And then, you know, I'm going home, and all the names he's telling me, I'm like looking them up. And but my second practice was at Morocco's house, and I went there, and I walk in, and like, you know, I've Googled everybody, so I know all like the top arm wrestlers, and I walk in, and like Todd Zilla's there, Mike Aiello, Paul Lynn, Ron Bath, and I'm like, holy shit. And they're just sitting there like normal guys, and they're just like, "Hey, what's up?" And that's it. And I'm like, "Oh man, these guys are like my arm wrestling idols," but they're just like normal guys hanging out, drinking beers. And I'm like, this is the best sport ever. So then, you know, I'm texting all the guys back at my practice, like, "Man, you guys fucked up not coming to this practice." And so so the next one, they all came. And then, you know, there were other, you know, Travis showed up at that one too. And I was like, oh my God, like all the heavy hitters are here. But as far as idols, I would say John Brzenk, probably, who I met for the first time down in Virginia. I think when I met you, Paul.
Yeah.
Funny story about that though. So when I shook his hand, John was a lot bigger than I thought he was. So I'm holding his hand, and they're about to take a picture. And and all my guys are with me. And I said, "John, man, your thumb is bigger than my penis." And in the picture, he gave a weird look at me, right? But then all the guys I'm with are like, "Why the fuck would you say that to John Brzenk?" But now, the next time I saw him, he didn't know any of them, but he was like, "Hey, Ryan." Yeah, he remembered my retarded comment. So it worked out for me.
And just so everybody knows, if anybody's not seen John Brzenk in person, if you do get to meet him, make sure you look at his thumb. I thought it was the craziest thing the first time when I met him, and Travis, we go to sit down at dinner, and Travis made sure that I got to sit next to John Brzenk on one side, and I had Travis on the other. And he turns around to John, he goes, "Yo, show him your thumb." And he puts his thumb up. I'm like, "Bro, leave John alone. What are you doing?" And he's like, "Nah, bro, look at this, bro." And John's thumb was literally double the size of Travis. Anybody knows Travis is a lot taller than John, you know, so it is a freak show. His thumb is some next level. Right. I think that definitely has a big part of him being the GOAT in arm wrestling for sure.
Matawaringi had a Morris, the New Zealand champion, bench press champion, that Ashleigh was inspired by. His thumb is gigantic as well. He's got a great photo of it on Instagram. I'll see if I can find it while we're talking.
Oh, so bro, we need to have a thumb down, man. We got to see who has a bigger one, Matai or fucking John Brzenk.
Thumb off.
Thumb off. That's fantastic.
Shout out to Mai Tai, man. I really like him a lot, bro. That dude is really cool people, man. I really like him. I like his style. I like how he pulls. So humble, so respectful and everything. Great guy.
Yeah, we were saying this before we jumped on, but it's so funny, the contrast between his appearance and how lovely of a guy he is, because, you know, he's like 180 kilos. What is that? 400 pounds or something. and he's got the face tattoo, and he's got tattoos all over and he's giant, and he's so nice. He's so friendly and so lovely and kind, and it was like, oh, it's okay. I was not expecting that.
Bro, when you're that big and you look that way, you don't gotta act scared. You could just be that humble dude, man. He's that big.
Yeah.
I also want to shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We haven't shouted them out. I want to say we got a lot of big time people up in here. We got Magda in the house. We got the High Five Arm Wrestling crew, which we're about to shoot them out. They got a big event coming up, which I definitely want to make mention. We got Jay Coben in the house. We got Caroline. What's up, Caroline? How you been? Great supporter. We got IME King. Mikey Olivia's in the house. What's up, Mikey? We got everybody up in here. So Muscle Bike. So yeah, just if you guys haven't already, make sure you click that thumbs up button. And Matt's next big goal, we got to help him get. We got to get 10K subscribers. So everybody, hit up your family, hit up your mom, hit up your grandma, tell them to go and subscribe to Matt's channel. Let's get everybody on there and showing support. We also got Drew24 in the house, Captain Obvious. What's up, everybody? All the normals in the house. Thank you guys for coming through.
I subscribed to all 15 of my trolls.
There you go, bro. There you go. Yeah, perfect. Matt brought it up on the screen. So I want to make mention of this. I just went and bought my VIP tickets yesterday, guys. So if you guys haven't, I don't know if they put them out to the public yet, but they're going to be coming out in the next couple days or week, I believe. We got a big event, Knuckles Up 4, guys, going down in Fort Lee, New Jersey, September 14th, and they have a stacked card. They're always doing it big. These guys do it right. They are putting mega money into production. I haven't missed one event yet. I love it so much. They bring such a great experience. They treat the athletes. They roll out the red carpet. I mean, I don't know too many promotions that treat the athletes as good as they do, man. They house them. They got them meals every day. It's just they send them all home with a whole goodie bag of great stuff from their sponsors. Really, really great things. And Matt's got up there some of the great matches going on. And there's a couple I want to talk about. We got your guy, Mario Tambakis, up there, and he's going to be going against Palman. So what's up with that, bro? Matt, what's your thoughts on that, man? Do we think Mario's going to take the win on that one?
Yeah, well, Mario is a phenom. I mean, he's a very underrated. The guy won the Arizona State titles this year. He also beat Jason Mallow at the previous Knuckles Up event. He is a very, very powerful, strong young man, and only going to continue to get bigger and better. I think he's only like early 20s as well, so he's got the world ahead of him in terms of growth in the sport. But yeah, this will be probably one of his biggest tests. I mean, Plumman is no joke. This guy is a technical wizard, and yeah, if Mario can pull off this win, I mean, this really pushes him up towards that pointy end of the stick in terms of the absolute best in the world. So yeah, very, very excited for that match.
Hell yeah. I know Mario quite well. I got to meet Mario a couple years back at Washington State. Had a ball with this kid. I was so impressed with him at competing there that day. He flew all that way from Australia, came in and kicked some ass. Then got to go to the after party. We actually threw the after party, and my God, is he fun to hang out with. He is the best bartender. He keeps the energy going, just a whole bunch of fun. And then I got to go hang out with him just recently at Knuckles Up 3 in Jersey. He came in, and just like you said, he had that really, really impressive win against Jason Merlo, which you guys all know Jason Merlo's level. That is one of the top dogs out here. And for Mario to get that win, I was very impressed. And I wasn't so sure that Mario was going to be in that. I knew he had that whole, long trip and with the jet lag and all, and he did some crazy weight cut. And, when I seen him day before, I was like, I don't know, man. I think Merlo kind of got this, Merlo's home and all that. And then to see Mario and Merlo have the war they did, and Mario came victorious at the end. I mean, it just raised him another notch on my board, which I already have him very high. high, but that was so impressive. And just like you said, he's really, really got his hands full with this one. If he goes and gets this win, wow, that's all I'm gonna say to that. That is gonna be very impressive. Ryan, you and the 98 are making the trip over there for Knuckles Up is
Yeah.
that correct?
Well, like you, I've been to all of them. So, you know, it's always a good time to go there and hang out. And those guys, you know, we became an Arnold Classic like a lot of other people. So we're working with those guys. They're great guys. They're doing big things, and you've seen their production level is crazy. They treat the athletes like amazing. So anybody who hasn't been to that, like, I would reach out, and if you're at that level, try to get a match with Knuckles Up, because those guys are really doing big things and super nice guys. Like, you know, everything they do is top notch. We get to hang out after pull with all the guys. We all went to the restaurant, hung out. Great time.
Yeah, and each event, what I've noticed is they step it up. They really
Yeah.
listen to the people. You know, they listen to the critique and all, and they go and they make changes. Every one that I've went to, each one I've seen a significant change for the better. You know, and I just remember saying after that first one, holy shit. Me being a promoter, throwing so many events, I've never seen somebody come out the gate throwing such a high production for the first event. And I just said, wow, this is different than everybody else. These guys put in serious money into this. It's not even just the money, it's to be able to put on a production like that. I believe that part of their crew, they have a production guy, you know, that's what he does for a living. They're blessed with that. So that is, you know, a big benefit to them. But just like Ryan said, man, anybody, if you can get there, make sure you get there. Try this out. September 14th. It's at Fort Lee. I think it's the Barrymore Theater. This theater is next level. They literally have red carpets everywhere. You're like, holy shit. And they have like a movie theater set up with the concession stands. They got a place upstairs just for the meet and greets. So right before the match and the matches go off, the VIP get to go to this meet and greet. You get to hang out with the athletes for like an hour or two. You get to talk with them, take pictures, get autographs. Very, very cool experience. I also, Matt, if you can, brother, you know, you got Brian Bowen come to the next one. You got Mario coming to the next one. Bro, jump in one of their suitcases and meet us there, bro. Come on, man. The Buzz Crew's going to be in the house. Come hang out.
Just ship yourself.
I'd
yeah,
love to.
bro.
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be amazing. Yeah, I'm sure that I will meet you guys in person one day, and that'll be tremendous. I just gotta look out for I gotta look for the cowboy hat.
Oh, there you go, man. There you go. But I gotta say, when the last couple of times I've been in Jersey, I haven't been rocking the cowboy hat. I've been just doing the Paul Italia, the East Coast style with the fitted and all that. So changing it up a little and all. But I also wanted to say to Sarah and Ashleigh, hey, girls, if you girls ever get a chance to get on, you know, one of their cards, I would love to see you guys there. And it's definitely a great experience, great promotion, and you know, I highly recommend it for sure.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things, or amazing things actually, from a lot of people about their promotion. So can't wait to be part of it.
Well, Sarah, I got this question for you because I know you pretty savvy with this, because we got Andre Sharkovich, which you know that's our Florida guy right there, and he's going to be going against Ryan Bowen. So I kind of want to get, what's your thoughts on this match? How is this going to end? Who's going to get the win?
It's so hard. Like, I don't
That's
like
tough.
predictions, because then you're gonna say, you know, you're gonna say against your friend, but you're friends with all of them. So
Do what all the Easterners do. Just go 50-50.
Yeah.
It seems like they're all trained to say that.
Exactly. Like, you know, like it just looks like Andre has been having a lot of momentum recently. He looks unstoppable. I've seen Ryan do crazy things too against a lot of odds. So who knows? But if I have to choose, I'm probably going to go with Andre.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. I got to say this, guys, because last week I was sticking up for Ryan Bowen and all. I felt bad. Everybody was kind of saying Andre and all this. So I was sticking up for him. But Ryan's scaring me right now, guys. He's doing some new like nutrition and he's losing weight and all this. And I'm like, uh-oh, Ryan, let's not get crazy here, bro. I remember being there in Turkey with you, sitting in the sauna the night before. And I remember looking at you and being like, dude, are you sure you're ready for this, man? You looking really sucked in. And he's like, oh, man, are you for real? And I'm like, yeah, bro. And then he went and got his butt kicked against Coach Ray. So Ryan, please don't try anything too extreme, man. Don't try losing too much weight. Don't do anything crazy, because I got to say this, man. Andre, his trajectory is looking straight up right now, bro. Like he is, I can't believe the things he's doing, and I got to train with Andre quite a bit. He's only like 40 minutes away from my house right here in Florida. So, I do get some training practices in with him. And I got to say, in the last year, watching him, I am so impressed. It's just unreal. He is leveling up very, very quick. And I mean, you could just look at him, bro. He's like a specimen. The dude is like, he looks like he'd go on a bodybuilding competition tomorrow and win easily. You know what I mean? So Ryan, I was all with you last week, bro, but you're scaring me with all these posts of you losing weight and taking these shirtless pictures. So I'm like, bro, you're not looking as beefy as normal, bro. Like, but then I do see him going pulling with Lachlan, and I'm impressed, man, because he's able to hold off Lachlan, and when you see what Lachlan looks like, you're like, oh my god. So that's what I keep saying to myself. All right. I'm like, Andre looks insane and all, but so does Lachlan. And Ryan seems to be right there with Lachlan. Is that true in any kind of way, Matt? Or, are they just doing that in the videos, making it look like close?
No, they don't deliberately mess around on their videos, but yeah, I mean, that's their training. They obviously, you don't see what happens outside of what's in the frame as to who's been going for how long or whatever, but yeah, they've been trained together for years, and now they've got Rickard Bornman there as well, and heavyweights like Marcus Atirai. Yeah, but the weight loss thing is quite interesting. Ryan said to me yesterday that he'd lost, I've got to do the calculation because it's 9 kilos, which is what, 22 pounds, 21 pounds or something in like a week and a half or something like that. It was just like, how? And I think he's gone with this carnivore diet, or he's changed up. He's eating like just meat now. So yeah,
that's why we had him on, I think it was last week or the week before, and he started telling the diet he was on. And like, I just started getting, because I've never heard that. I've been in the fitness game, and I really know how to dial in the body and all that. And when he was telling me, I'm like, oh man, you're going extreme. Like, I don't know, I don't know too many people that worked for and all, but he's on this path, and he's sticking with it. So I guess we're gonna find out September 14th if it's gonna work good for him or not. Do you happen to know when he's gonna get in? To deal with the jet lag? Is he gonna come in a couple days early or anything like that, Matt?
I can probably tell you exactly when he's going to come in.
Okay, great.
I've got his flight itinerary.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's definitely booked and ready to go. But he's going to get in a couple of days early. Yeah, that jet lag thing is a factor. Definitely, you see that with athletes traveling all around the world, and especially the East versus West shows. When people are traveling all the way over there, it can affect you. And if you're not used to, maybe your flight time, you just ended up staying up for 2 days in a row, and then the next day you've got to go and compete, and it's like you're not going to be at your highest levels because you're exhausted, or you haven't slept properly, or now you like 6 p.m. in Turkey is like, I don't know, 2 p.m. back at home on an opposite day. It's so difficult to adjust to that. So yeah, he's definitely going to get there a couple of days early to mitigate those factors.
Yeah, I remember when I just traveled to East versus West just to hang out with everybody. I remember when I got there, my whole schedule was just totally screwed up. I was used to the West Coast time at that time and everything, so it was even more extreme. But I just kept saying to myself, damn, I couldn't imagine have to get on the table and competing, after going through all that long travel and all. And I went the right way. I went first class and everything. So I wasn't even really, suffering and all. I was kind of enjoying it. But even still, with the schedule and shit, that was kind of rough and everything. So
you went first class? Man,
yeah,
I've even just seen. I've tried to look at first class and they shut the curtain.
Yeah, we tried getting Jerry in because we had Jerry and his wife, and the seat was next to me open, and Jerry was trying to weasel his way in. They wouldn't let him in there. I was like, you know what this is? This is a world champion. We got to get him in here right now. But
oh, that's amazing. But it still affected you, even with the comfort of first class travel.
oh yeah, big time, man, big time. I couldn't even imagine pulling. You know, you really got to figure out that formula. It's definitely a formula that needs to be figured out for each person because each person is different. They react different and all. It's definitely something you got to ease your way into. Which I think, Sarah, you would probably have, you know, a lot of experience with that. I'm sure you've traveled internationally and competed over there quite a bit. Have you figured out a formula for that, or it really doesn't affect you as much?
No, like at the time of the booking, I tried to book a flight where I get in, preferably like not in the morning, like maybe the afternoon or later, because then I can like stay awake during the plane ride and just be naturally tired for evening when I arrive. That's usually how I plan it.
Very nice, very nice. Ryan, I got to bring this up to you, brother, because you're going to be at Knuckles Up, man. Who you betting on that day, man? We're going to put a little bet on this between Ryan Bowen and Andre Sharkovich. Who you got?
Oh, dude, that's so tough. I'm leaning towards Andre. I think he's going to be too strong.
Okay, wow. All
But
right.
I mean, but you know, Ryan, like sometimes he surprises people, and I would never count him out of a match. You never know. You know, he might pull it off.
That is so true. And I got to
That's
say
a tough
this.
match. It's too close to bet on.
Ryan Bowen was the first super match I have ever watched in my arm wrestling career. And Sarah was right
Which
there
one?
next to him. They were in a garage, and he was going against Chan Shaw. I
Oh,
think I was
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
like a month or two in, and I remember watching. I'm looking. I'm like, who the hell is this guy with like a pink Hawaiian shirt, and he had a pink cowboy hat on that day. He had a
Yeah.
pink cowboy hat on that day, and I remember Chance, and he was kind of cocky. He got those first two wins. I think it was one or two rounds he got right away, and he kind of got cocky and was like, you know, kind of say. And then next thing, Bowen pulled a Bowen on him, man,
Yep.
flipped that, and I remember the whole garage just froze up. Everybody's mouths were dropped, and yep, there it is, bro. That is it. That brings back Mary. Sarah's in there too. Where's Sarah?
Max in the
Is
background.
Yeah, all of Florida was here. It was in
Yep.
Craig Blair's garage.
Yeah,
Okay.
he got a really good setup.
Craig's a good dude.
I don't think Ryan even tried in that first round. But yeah, there was a lot of smiles coming from Chance's corner after those first two rounds.
Oh yeah, everybody was talking shit and everything, and then I remember Ryan turned it around and everybody just like mouth dropped, and that's when I was like, oh wow, this dude is no joke. And I think that started like his whole winning streak. Didn't he go on some crazy winning streak in super matches or something after that?
Yeah, well, the good thing about what he was doing then was he was putting his money up and challenging people, but he would fly to them, put the money on the table and say, I'm here in your face. Let's do a match. We'll film it. We'll put it out on the channel. And I loved the fact he was doing that because it was like, I'm not just calling you out. I'm actually following through and I'm here. I'm in the country. I'm at your training or whatever. And, you know, I'm serious about this. Here's the money. Let's do this. And so he did that with Chance Shaw and then, sort of kicked off a big streak for him.
Well, and think about this, like he's in a garage full of the entire crowd is for Chance. Like he's completely outnumbered. He's not on his home, field.
And if you
and
know those Florida guys, man, the Florida guys are very territorial and they're tough dudes, man. And when you come into the Lions Den, they make you feel it, man. Like I know when I first got out here and all, and I would go to practices, they're gunning for you and all. Now they consider me another Floridian and all, so I'm in kind of with the crew and all. But I know coming, across the country to go into that garage, that takes balls. Sarah knows exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Those guys don't play.
No.
So Ashleigh, I got to ask you, have you got on the table with Bowen? Have you got the practice and train with him at all?
I've never actually met him in person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How far are you guys? I know it's a flight, but it's a short flight, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like to Adelaide. I'm pretty sure it's like 10 hours. I think Melbourne
Oh, wow.
is like a 3-hour trip, but yeah, Adelaide is just over the other side.
Wow. Okay. I had no idea of that. That is pretty far. Wow. I thought
Yeah.
Australia, I didn't realize Australia is so damn big. It doesn't look that big on a map, but it's
Yeah.
pretty spread out. I remember everybody telling me that.
If you think of overlaying it over the top of the United States map, where Ryan is probably like Rhode Island area, and then where I would be I don't know what's in the middle of America, right at the bottom.
Texas.
I guess so. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
where I am. And then we've got New Zealand, where Ashleigh's from, which is a completely separate country, and mainly two main giant islands that a long way away.
Bro, who comes up with Rhode Island though as a
I
map?
know,
Like, I don't even
Rhode
know where the hell
Island.
Rhode Island is, bro.
We
And I've
don't
been
we
living here
don't
my
even
whole life.
acknowledge that Rhode Island exists up here.
I don't know what you guys
Where
do.
did you come up with
takes-
that, man? Is
it
that like an
takes 20
Australian
minutes
thing? Rhode
to drive
Island's like a
across
big
Rhode
thing over
Island.
there?
Oh, it's massive. We all love Rhode Island.
Well, when you say a massive, I would say like California, like
Yeah.
like all right, you're in San Fran now. We're going down to L.A. That I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Rhode Island in the middle of the. I'm like, what the hell? I don't even know how big that is.
You can drive across Rhode Island in 20 minutes.
Well, I was going to say New York, but I didn't think it was correct in
It's
geographic.
pretty close. It's pretty close to Rhode Island.
Yeah, New York is big, man. When you go all the way upstate, like like you're talking like Buffalo and all that, it's like 10 hours from. I call anything north of New York City bumblefuck. I don't even know where it is in New York. We don't even go. We don't even consider that still New York. All these upstate guys are probably cursing me right now.
The funny thing though, and Paul can attest to this, like the rest of the country, like they have to travel far to go to shit. Where here in the Northeast, like there's so much, like there is a tournament every weekend, top level guys. Like it's so easy to just drive an hour or two and you're at something cool. And then when we hear all the guys like out west and saying I had to drive 6 hours, I'm like, oh my God.
You feel
that
bad for
sucks.
them.
Yeah, I feel bad because I'm like, man, we're lucky. Like me personally, I feel lucky where I live because I'm like, I see all these top level guys all the time now at practices because they bounce around, and the rest of the country, they got to travel to get to good practices or good tournaments where I can just jump in my car and go to one in 2 hours. There's a lot of stuff around.
Bro, Florida is the spot, man. I love Florida. Within 45 minutes of 4 different ways, I can go to 4 different practices. And I take advantage of that, man. It's amazing. Florida is just packed with pullers everywhere. And, before Flow and FAL, came together, everybody was a promoter down here. So every week you practically had another event going on. That's why it was kind of cool when, Flow and the FAL stepped up and it was like, okay, now we're kind of like centralized just on these 2 organizations and we could get that. But now Sarah's coming into the picture and she's got the Sarah Backman Classic coming and all. But, Florida is an amazing place for pulling as well. But also the Northeast, definitely, is a lot. Matt, what about you guys, man? Like what's the distance that you got to travel to go to practice? You got your practice, but like, where's the next nearest practice from you?
It's probably about as far as Rhode Island is.
Matt doesn't. First off, Matt doesn't practice.
I get practiced on. No, well, so if you think Australia and America are the same size, it's America's slightly bigger, but and instead of 50 states, we've got 8. And so I'm in South Australia, and there's one club here, and that's the one I run, the SA Titans Club. So it's growing in this country, and there are clubs that are springing up around the states. But up until maybe a year and a half ago, there was only one sort of big club in each state, and everyone would go to that club. And whether you had to drive 4 hours or it was next door or whatever, that was the only place you could go if you wanted to do arm wrestling. And so for me, it's a 45-minute drive. It's not too bad for me, but most of the guys live up in that area, so it's just more convenient for them. But yeah, if I wanted to train at any of the other clubs, it's minimum getting on a plane.
Wow. Actually, same question for you. What's it like? Do you have, I know you got your one team that you train with on the regular, but do you get to go to any other practices? Are there any other practices going on?
Yeah, so there's like if I wanted to go to a different region, it would be like an hour and a half drive. But yeah, it's literally a 2-minute drive from my house to my coach's house to train. We don't usually go to other clubs unless they're having like big super matches. But other than that, I mean, we're literally learning off the best of the best in New Zealand as it is. So yeah, just kind of stay at my own club.
And Sarah, I know that you're like headquarters for the training up by your area and all. And know you got your 2 practices a week, which that's amazing. But it's so funny because I remember you telling me that, not all the same people show up to both practices. Usually it's, one crew comes one day and then the next crew comes the other day. I'm like, you got to just line up all these guys because, they can't handle all that power and they go through them. But
Yeah.
do you hit other practices on a regular basis?
Oh yeah. I travel a lot for practice throughout Florida. Hit at least one out of the area, more than that for sure, but like at least 1 or 2 a month outside of the area. We drive between 2 and 4 hours one way to a practice just to show support, but also get different type of arms and training.
One of the crews that you train with, shout out the Garage Grinders, John
Yes.
Hutchison and Istvan Tar. Yo,
My
they
favorite.
throw amazing
Yeah.
practices. They got like 40 dudes all the time. I got to go
Yeah.
up there a couple times. Love to train with them. Definitely shout out to those guys. Great support too, the arm wrestling and all.
Sarah,
And,
so I was going to ask Sarah, when you first started in arm wrestling, was there a club that you could go to? How far did you have to go to get there? What was it like on your first night?
Yeah, so it was that Sunday, November 19, 2006. I went to the club with my mom, and it was in a same type of studio where they hosted wrestling, like amateur wrestling. They were rolling around the mats and stuff like that. So we were just like on the side while they were training on the mat. And Malin greeted me. She was the head coach of the Team Stockholm Arm Wrestling, and it was in the city of Stockholm. So I had to take a train for 20 minutes to get to it, and it would be every Thursday and every Sunday.
very cool.
And it was led practices too. Like it was Malin, or she had like a secondary coach that we would have a warm up as a group. We would have a practice as a group, and we were told what to do. And always supervised, and then that's how they trained, and that's how we were training. Like here, it's so different. Here we just go by feel, and it's not really strategy. No much strategy and things. We just go by feel, and that's cool and all. But like I get reminded of this because I just went to Sweden, and there wasn't really a coach, but like Malin was there and she was leading the practice. She made sure that every table was occupied and no table are supposed to be empty. Like we need to maximize this 2 hours, and it's a lot more intense. And I can definitely see why certain areas of the world are better than others.
Well, you need to show us all that. You need to show North America that because that's the stuff that we need to learn.
Yeah.
Because we need to have structured practices. And I've been saying it for so long, but I
Yeah.
haven't found the actual answer. When I was getting coached with Engen and all, I'm not really cool with him right now and all, but he would always say that, and I would always see the videos of him in his school, and I'd always be so jealous. It was like so structured how they were doing it. And it wasn't ego pulling. It was like everybody was there to help the other one progress and all. And that's where I think North Americans really need to learn because it's showing. Those East guys, man, they're kicking our ass, and I have a lot of feeling it's their training is a lot more serious than we're taking it over here. Do you believe that's correct when I'm saying that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the intensity. Like, I was so fatigued. Like, and I usually get fatigued and drained after practice, but after this Stockholm practice 2 weeks ago, like I remembered that feeling. Like you feel disgust, like you just want to go home because like you're disgusted by this now. Like you reach that level, and it should be like that every practice. And it's refreshing. And to get that, like there's no standing talking for 20 minutes and bullshitting. No, you're there to train. Like I said, maximize. If you're there only for 1 hour, like pull, like take, like how long are you waiting between sets at the gym? You know, max 2 minutes, 3 minutes if you're a hardcore powerlifter.
That's kind of what we do, but most people, you know, they're playing on their phone, texting and all, you know, the exact way that we be doing bodybuilding training is, I feel like that's how we got to structure to get going in arm wrestling so that we can compete with ease, because that's what they're doing. You know, that's what I'm hearing they're doing. So, and I want to say shout out to Malin. Malin is such an amazing person. I love her. The energy she brings, her character. Also want to shout out Petra, Thea. You know, they're all just amazing people. And now I know, I'm getting to know, do you get to train with Carolina Peterson at all?
Yeah, not this time, but I did during Christmas time. We trained together.
She's another one. I can't believe what she's been doing lately. I mean, she is just destroying everybody. When you look at her, if you've seen her on the streets, you never would guess she's an arm wrestler. Never.
No.
And then you get on the table with her, and you'll know very quick.
Fun facts about her too. Like, she's a mother of 3, and she's becoming a doctor. Like, she's this badass chick outside of arm wrestling too. Like,
wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Wow. Shout out to Carolina. Wow. That is just impressive. So when you go back to Sweden and everything, do all the girls come together and you guys get a lot of training in and all that?
I mean, sometimes, we did that in the winter time, but this was kind of short notice this last couple of weeks. And my purpose was just to go visit my family because it was my nephew's birthday and everything. But I got one practice in with the Stockholm team, and I trained with Malin and the guys there. But Sweden is long, like, so, you know, Thea would have to travel for 5 hours. Carol would have to travel for 3 hours or so. So I understand it's a commitment for like a Wednesday night, like it was. You know, people have obligations and work and family. So next time we'll set something up.
Now, you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but I always wondered, who is the queen out of all you girls when you're together? Are you the one that's beating everybody? Can you beat Malin? Can you beat Thea? Like, do you guys know who is the queen?
I don't think this is known, and I'm dying to have a match with either of them to settle this, because like I trained with Malin just now, and like she's fucking strong. Like, you know, she has a nasty hit, and if you're not ready, like, she'll take you for a ride. Thea, I have not pulled in over 10 years, so I honestly don't know how that will go.
All you promoters and organizers, if you're listening, I just gave you gold. Somebody needs to jump on that right now. Sarah just said that she wants to see who the queen of Sweden is. She wants to pull Thea and Malin. Please, somebody set this up, preferably in North America, so I could go over there and be there to watch it live. So, and please, guys, for real, that's some bombshells right there. I would love to see any of those matches. Now, there's no like,
Sarah's putting together her promotion at the moment with her own video, so maybe you could get things happening over there as well. We get Harley Davidson involved and say, hey, we've got some of the baddest women in the world over here. Put a tournament together.
Sarah, with your name, like, you could just start your own promotion and then be the star of your own show.
No,
you know?
no.
You could.
I mean,
you could be like a woman's only promotion.
I mean, trust me, like,
I don't understand.
Did anybody hear that?
What was that?
Who was that?
It
sounded like Alexa.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but like, who knows? Like, I never thought of myself as a promoter or anything in role, but I do enjoy what I'm doing right now. So who knows?
Right.
Sky's the
Well,
limit.
hey, you'll get a taste of it at your tournament.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to go down.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I wish I could pull, but it's driving me crazy that I can't. I just
Why
had
can't-
surgery on my shoulder. So I'm like, I might after pull, even though I'm not supposed to, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to go down, show support, meet everybody.
Well, don't worry, Ryan. Me and you could be the cheerleaders on the side, man, because I'm not planning on pulling either, man. I haven't been training
Yeah.
at all, and so I'll be on the sidelines with you. So maybe we'll get some after pulling in.
Because you know what happens, you pull, and then someone's gonna get a video of you losing, and it's gonna go viral.
Oh yeah, we know that.
Yeah, I was the arm wrestler.
Usually I'll beat them like 4 or 5 times before that. And then that one time they get
the
me,
loss,
and then that's the one that goes out everywhere.
See, luckily I never win, so I don't even have to worry about that.
I gotta say, bro, you got a lot stronger, my man. When we had that match, bro, you definitely impressed me that day, bro. I was like, holy shit, man. That one round, you really gave me. I really had to put it on you, man, on that one. It was definitely a tough round for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah,
so, guys,
I don't know. Promotions.
I don't know about you guys, but it's getting kind of late over here. I think I'm gonna call it a night. If you guys want to keep going, you're more than welcome. But I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
I was just waiting until you got off to talk about the good stuff.
Hell yeah, bro. So let's just recap before we call it a night, guys. So August 3rd, if you are in Florida, it is mandatory you show up. If you do not show up, I'm going to have to smack you when I see you. So August 3rd, get your ass to Sarah Backman Classic. Show your support, 100%. Then we got, before then, we got September 14th. We got Knuckles Up 4, Fort Lee, New Jersey. Ryan, what do you got coming up? I think September you got your qualifier coming up.
We got our Arnold's qualifier in September, and then we have September 7th, and then August 10th we have a New Jersey State Championship, the Sean Latimer one. So that'll be fun.
Hell yeah. Everybody get over to that, show your support. And then October, we have the big match between Ashleigh and Sarah, which I'm really excited about. I can't wait to see Ashleigh in action. I want to see, I only know that she's 6 months in, but I know that she's benching 400 pounds and just smashing people. Went to Turkey, won the qualifier like it was nothing. So I am looking forward to this match. And not only do we get to see right arm, but we also get to see left arm, which both of them is their dominant arm. So very excited about that. And check out the flyer right there. Really cool flyer. And I'm really looking forward, Matt, to hear the rest of what you guys got lined up. I know you've been teasing and saying you got some big things led up. I know Rickard, I think, is going to be part of that. I'm really excited to see who you got for him. Keep us up to date with that. Ladies, thank you very much for coming on. Ashleigh, I wish you the best of luck. Sarah, I'll see you in like a week and a half at your big event in Florida. And thank you, Ryan, for filling in for Israel. Just so everybody knows, Israel will be back on next week as well. Israel had some things that he had to handle, and he will be back on next week. And as long as Matt's cool with it, we're going to do another week on your channel next week, brother, because I'm going to still be down here in Florida. And that I just postponed, and I'm going to stay down here for the Sarah Backman Classic. And then right after that, we'll be back on my channel. So everybody in the chat, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. If you haven't already, click that thumbs up. Tell mom and grandma, get subscribed to Matt's channel as well. We got to get him to 10K ASAP. And yeah. All right, guys. Have a great